Hello, welcome back to Atlas Within. I'm Andres. Today we're doing another check-in. So this is actually the second to last check-in before the 90 days are up. It's day 87, currently the 21st of August 2026. So yeah, just 3 days out from day 90. As per usual, we're going to be running through my weight as well as waist measurements, splicing with a bit of body fat percentage just to gauge that. Then we'll move on to the training, how that's been going in terms of cardio and resistance training, food intakes, any variety, anything I changed, tweaked, or has it stayed pretty stable. And then last but not least, the motivation scale, and see how am I feeling right now about the whole process, where I'm at, where I've been, where I'm going, etc. So we'll dive straight into it. So weight wise, I weighed myself today at a quite pleasing 86.55 kilograms. So that's a decrease from 87 kilograms and 87.35 kilograms, which is under a kilo. It's about 800, I think, 800 grams. Maths in a video. 800 grams difference. So finally the scale has moved downwards. Interesting fact, I weighed myself 2 days ago because I'm weighing myself midweek as well, and I weighed at 85.8 kilograms. So I am definitely hovering around the 86 point, maybe 1 or 2 kilograms, roughly speaking, depending on when I take the measurements. Appears that midweek I am my lightest. Makes sense because, well, I'll go into that in a moment. In terms of my waist, it has also decreased ever so slightly. So I was at 100.8 centimeters. Now I'm at 100.5 centimeters. Cool. So yeah, dropped a tiny bit, 0.2 centimeters, but hey, you know, progress is progress. And then last but not least, body fat wise, I was at 20.1 in my last week's measurement, and today I am at 19.8 body fat. Just to give you some more metrics to work with. You know, the scale has been one of those things that, unfortunately, as the weeks have progressed, I've become less and less reliant on using them, just because, as mentioned, my weight was fluctuating rather drastically, and yeah, had to kind of put that to the side. Still valuable metrics to have, and I do need to tie something back to obviously my end results. So yeah, all in all, very positive. Good change since last week, going finally in the direction that I wanted to go to, which was decreasing my overall body weight. So yeah, getting there. I don't know how much I'll be able to achieve in 3 days though, so we'll see in terms of, you know, what the difference will be 3 days from now. But all in all, pleased with the weigh-in. Moving on to my training. So I'll mention zone 2 I didn't do this week. That was purely because the last time I checked in, I mentioned I didn't do a workout because I was too tired, unfortunately, that day. So I deferred it to the Sunday. Did it on the Sunday. Very good news on that side of things. However, I was meant to do zone 2 training on a Sunday. That's usually when I do my zone 2 training. I deferred it to the Monday, but once again, I was a bit tired and I was due to do more exercises on Tuesday, Wednesday anyway. So just to avoid any type of burnout, any extra fatigue I may accumulate, I decided I would just have to skip that, unfortunately. So no zone 2 training this week. I will be doing it on Sunday though, which is just the day before the check-in anyway, so that'll be nice. It'll be nice to see where I'm at with that. 5k, so 5k run. My last time, so I had improved from the previous week, where I did a slower time than my personal best. So last week I did 23 minutes and 34 seconds. My personal best is 23 minutes 31 seconds. I managed to do, and this was once again logically pacing myself, having a bit of structure, maybe not overdoing it. I managed to get a new personal best of 22 minutes and 33 seconds. That's almost an entire minute off my personal best that I actually set 3 weeks ago. and then I had a bit of regression, and then last week I kind of got almost back to that time, and now I've just made the leap straight to a sub 23 minutes, 58 seconds faster. I will give a massive shout out to Lawrence because he obviously did his check-in just a few days ago where he jumped on the bandwagon of the 5k run. He set himself the goal to see if he could beat my time, which he did. He managed to get the impressive 23 minutes and 16 seconds, which I'll be honest did motivate me. It made me push more, and it was a very interesting experience because up until now I've been just trying to compete against myself, trying to be better times, do better times every single session, and it's worked. But there is something to be said about when you have a friendly competition or someone that's competing to an extent and giving you that extra, like I said, motivation, extra target to set, because obviously he set the time. I didn't set the time, he set the time this time, so I had to beat to that time. And for what it's worth, I dug deep, managed to quite impressively batter my personal best. This was also running between 13.6 kilometers per hour and lowering it down to 11.2. It's a bit of an odd number, but I felt comfortable at that number. I will also mention that at the 11.2 speed, that's kilometers per hour speed, I only did about 3.5 minutes out of the whole 22 minutes 33 seconds. So I did spend around 19 minutes running at 13.6 to achieve this time. So bear that in mind if you want to give this a go. Yeah, so very pleased. Once again, shout out to Lawrence. Thank you very much for the motivation. There's your new target time to beat. So good luck with that. I'll be waiting to hear for your next check-in or next time that you do attempt the 5k run and see how you did. So that was 5k run. Very happy with that. Resistance training, I increased all the reps this week. So today I did the second session. It felt easier. Obviously not easy, just easier than the last time I did it. I definitely feel like I'm speeding up. I'm doing the session a bit quicker. So earlier this week I did the session in about 50 minutes. Today I did it in about 42 minutes, 43 minutes actually. So yeah, quite a big improvement, about 7 minutes faster, which means that I just took less breaks. I mean, I didn't have to stop. I didn't have to do as many myo reps that obviously I do for any set that I can't complete in one hit. I take a rest around 10 seconds and continue to just get the reps out until I eventually do the set. So yeah, no, I'm feeling stronger. I definitely have improved since I first started with all these exercises, because the evolution of the resistance training routine hasn't been drastic. I've incorporated more exercises, slightly changed the way I do them. So I'm doing supersets right now, but I was doing giant sets with supersets, a bit of cardio spliced in there right at the beginning as well. So I've modified a few things here and there, but I haven't changed it that much, and as a result I've definitely improved in all the movements and all the exercises I'm currently doing right now. So all in all, training is on the up. I'm feeling great. Very pleased with how I'm doing with resistance training, and obviously 5k run. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. So that's the training for this check-in. In terms of food, still pretty stable. I'll reiterate, I think I've said this many times, my breakfast remains the same, exactly the same. Every single day, 7 days a week, it's the same breakfast. So that's never changing, which is great because it means that that meal is always the same. It means it's always the same quantity, the same nutrients, the same macros, all that good stuff. So it's a baseline to start the day, and it works really well for me. The lunch slash dinner side of things during the day, that varies depending on whether or not I go into the office. When I do go into the office, I am eating more. I have an extra meal essentially, because when I'm at home, I probably will have breakfast as my lunch at midday. Whereas if I go to the office, then I will have breakfast at breakfast time, so early in the morning, then I'll have lunch at work, and then I have dinner. But I'm, keeping moderation. I'm making sure I don't overeat, and for what it's worth, at least at work, they do serve, I would consider them balanced meals. I wouldn't say they're bad for you. I think they're quite healthy. So kudos to them for giving me a decent menu to have when I'm there. But yeah, all in all, pretty good. I have indulged maybe one or two. I think I had a brownie the other day actually at work. Why not? Yeah, it was just part of the meal. I thought I'll give it a go. It's there. Yeah. And then pastry wise, I'm still having pastries on and off here and there, depending on how hungry I feel. So I will mention I've been feeling a bit more hungry, even though I haven't really changed my eating all that much. There are days where I do wake up, all throughout the day, I will suddenly feel hunger, which it's interesting. I haven't felt this before in the last few weeks. So that's been new, and I try not to obviously overeat. I might just have maybe a coffee and maybe like half a pastry at that if needed. But yeah, that's a bit of a new sensation, considering, like, for example, I'm going down in weight, exercise remains roughly the same, my routine hasn't changed all that much. I'm just surprised that I do feel hungry every now and again, more often throughout the day. I'm not sure what's going on there. I might have a look and see what's up with that, and what the physiological reasoning might be behind that, because it'll be interesting to know. So that's the food, and then lastly, motivation. So I'm going to give myself an 8 out of 10 motivation today, right now, because I feel quite good. I feel like I've done an exercise. I did my routine earlier today, went really well. And as I mentioned, I'm 3 days out from finishing this 90-day journey, and it's quite exciting. I'm really looking forward to the end, but in a very positive way. It just symbolizes, or it indicates essentially that it's the end of this particular journey, but potentially I'll have the beginning of another journey, which, I won't go into details yet, but I'm already thinking about what I will do once this is done. What the next steps will be. So yeah, I'm very motivated to just see it through. Only 3 days out. I've only really got just one workout to go, so I just need to watch my eating the next few days. It is the weekend, so the weekend I tend to maybe indulge a bit more than usual, but I will try and be as as strict as possible without being too strict, if that makes sense. So yeah, not feeling good right now. Yeah, feeling very good. And honestly, that's it. That's the quick check-in for today. I think not many things have changed, except marked improvements, I would say, from the last check-in, and I'm definitely feeling better. Tiredness, I think, was or has been one of those things that often fluctuates, and I think I do have tiredness to an extent, but I think it just seems to go up and down. And I feel like when I do exercise, like for example today, even though I was feeling a bit tired prior to the session, after I did it, I think I just have a bit more energy. Maybe it's woken me up. I did it a few hours ago, but maybe the adrenaline's still there, still kicking in, and I'm feeling pretty good about things right now. So yeah, that's the check-in. I will be doing the 90-day check-in in a couple of days, so stay tuned for that, and that will be obviously the final one of this journey. So yeah, excited to do that one. Well, thanks again for watching. Hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next check-in. All right, bye.